Hello, hello. So I just wanted to really quickly come in here talk about a deck that I've recently acquired. That was a gift from a dear, dear friend, and that surprisingly actually works really, really well. So I, at heart, a goth. All of the artwork, all of the decks are, in my collection, most of them at least, except for a few exceptions, are pretty dark, right? So we're working with, this type of theme. We are working with, Lay Vampire. We are working with Autumn Tarot. Like, let me show you a couple of images from there. Like even the first one is just, it's creepy. It's creepy. So, things like this really feed my soul. And this is where I, feel super comfortable with. There is some nudity in here, not full nudity, but, some reveal of skin, I guess, So we're working with things like that. So for me to actually pick up a deck and be like, this is working amazingly. As I said, only a couple of exceptions. Like the most memorable or yeah, memorable one would be the Journey of the Sacred Bee, which is an outstanding deck. I do not think I have it on hand, and I'm actually probably gonna talk about that one in the future too. But that's an independently published deck, and I have been lucky enough to get a promo copy of that deck years back. And it is one that will come out seasonally, especially during the summer, but it is something that actually comes through year round here and there. But throughout the summer, it is like in full swing, like I use it consistently every single day. And it is just an absolutely, absolutely amazing deck. But this is not what we're here for. We're not here for the bees. We're here for the angel tarot cards. Now, these ones, I I don't know. Yeah, this is the deck that, if I'm not mistaken, not to bring up any controversy, but this was originally a Doreen Virtue deck, right? With Redley Valentine and artwork by Steve A. Roberts. Um, so right now it's just, Redley Valentine and Steve A. Roberts. But if I'm not mistaken, because I've seen a lot of, different decks that are being, out there over the years, this was a Doreen Virtue deck. And I did a quick Google search, and there are still some, images of the original printing that have her name on it. I've never been much of a fan of the decks because they're really light, and that's no personal grudge with that. Nothing against anybody, to be honest. It's not my preferred type of deck. I don't really work with angels. I don't work with demons necessarily, even though I have a couple of decks that are that theme. Um, but I don't gravitate towards that type of theme. I don't gravitate towards that type of artwork. So now coming into 2023, 2024, there is a couple of decks that started to jump out at me, I feel like, and this one, and this is, I think I have it for, I think about a month now, almost a month and a half, but it is interesting in the accuracy aspect. So just, again, I have nothing really, I don't know. I just wanted to speak about the aspect of transition because I feel like with when it comes to this deck, I'm just gonna show you a couple of images. It is surprisingly not something that, you have the little messages at the bottom, you have the, the top kind of a little meaning, or with the major arcana, you have the name of the angel on it. Some of the cards are changed. Like, for example, the ego that I was just showing you, that is actually the devil card, right? Um, and the deck in itself is the artwork, very bright, very colorful, very, very beautiful. I'm not going to discredit the artist in any sort of way. This is a lot of detail. It takes a lot of work to accomplish stuff like that. Like the water in this card, like that's so realistic and that's so beautiful and gorgeous. Even though the lighting is not the best, but the ring light settings are messing with me today. Um, I am so surprised that this type of deck that I would usually discredit, because it's like it's not up my alley. I'm not going to be able to connect to it. I'm not going to be able to really receive information or convey information for my clients that would actually be helpful, that would actually be useful, that ultimately would have that merit and depth and I feel like value and accuracy as some of the other decks where I'm more connected to the artwork. I can really get what's happening in the picture, what's happening with the actual imagery, what's happening within the kind of a theme and the idea. And I have another deck that is, I think it's Dreams something. I have gotten it. I've used it for maybe like two or three readings. It's gorgeous, beautiful, um, gilded edges and everything. I got it as a gift, but I'm pretty much never using it because I think it's a Ciro Marchetti deck, and there is a couple of his decks that I love the artwork for. But it sort of reminds me of this. It's kind of that lighter theme. You have those lighter colors, and again, a goth at heart. I like dark themes. I like, creatures. I like, very pale things, very dark things. Um, so this is a very surprising turn of events because especially considering that, angels, and I feel like a lot of the decks that have been pushed out over the years, um, as I've seen a couple of like different Hay House, sorry, decks that have come through my feed or that friends of mine use. It's like it's very lightish. I would almost put in the same category as maybe like an oracle deck. That was always my initial perception. It's like, oh, it's like an oracle deck. It's light, it's softish in a way. I will say that this deck in particular, I will not go into the whole spiel. Like I'm not changed. I'm not converting to the light. I remain in the dark. I remain the goth baby. This deck is like a smooth spoon of honey in the sense that it has accuracy, it has potency, and it is, I feel like, in comparison to some of my other decks, also very stubborn. And when I say stubborn, a stubborn deck, that is when you have a certain message that wants to come through, and you might be conveying it in one way or another. And especially if you have sensitive subjects or very potent subjects that somebody may not be as willing to really accept or work through or address in a particular reading or in a particular session. So you try to, present the message in multiple different ways, hoping that it will click, hoping that it will make sense, right? This deck is one of those, like one of my like most used ones, like in the darker scale decks. That is stubborn. That's like, no, you need to hear this. You need to see this. This is where it is at. It will be very sweet about it and will be like, yeah, you need to, you need to. It will repeat it. But by the end of it, you're like, I get it. I know I need to see this through. I know I need to address this. I know I need to figure it out. So this is just a small little rant, and I can do like a longer video if anybody's interested in this deck. Um, and because I know a lot of people use like angel cards and stuff like that. I'm fairly new to this, as I said, like I've been using it for a short amount of time, and I've never really connected to angel energy myself. So this is a surprising turn of events. And more than anything, I'm making this video for those of you that might be out there that might be experiencing something similar. Like, let me know if I'm the only one in this. And if anybody else has this deck, what are your experiences with it? And what are you using this deck for? Because right now I'm just exploring that entire sphere and it's very fun. So hope everybody's safe. Bye.